Hey guys, so I have a story time for you. And I know you can't barely see me, but it's like 7:30 in the morning and I really don't want to turn on a light. So, quick breakdown. I work in tourism. You guys already know that. I'm not going to say as to where I work, but it's a tourism job. It's chaotic in the summer, chaotic on holiday weekends. Anyway, this was on Memorial Day weekend on Sunday, the day before Memorial Day, right? I was doing back to back walking and boat tours. Okay, because we have a walking and boat tour that's like 20 to 30 minutes of walking, 10 to 15-minute boat ride, and then you're done in just about an hour. So what happened was I was on my 230 and I had a group of three that contained a couple of Karens and a Ken. So this is actually one of my first Karen experiences. This is actually the first one I've ever shared. So basically, what happened, we were getting the tour done. We were at the dock. We had to split up the boat because I had 21 people on this tour. Um, and the boat just can't hold 21 adults because I had barely any kids on this tour. I did the first boat, which was, I believe, 11 people on the first boat. And then I'll have 9 on the second boat. That way it's a little bit, more arm room, little wiggle room. Whenever I got back from the first boat to let the first group give the second group the life jackets, I came over to check how everybody was doing and all that stuff. And this guy from this group of three of Karens and a Ken came up to me and he's like, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure," because I thought he had a question, like most people do. Um, and he's like, "Well, this seems a little bit rushed." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay. Um, I've been doing this all day long." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know it is a little rushed, but we've just been so busy today." And he's like, "Oh yeah, well I understand that, but I spent a lot of money on this tour." Because he had been here a few months ago by himself. He just brought his mother-in-law and his girlfriend or whatever, or wife. And, you know, thought it would be the same thing. I wasn't the tour guide the first time he came. It was Levi. And basically what he was telling me was he wanted a refund. And in my head, I was basically like, "Okay, you're probably not going to get a refund because you're basically done with the tour at this point, and I apologize that you know, it seems rushed to you. However, we've been full tours all day long. Okay. I was doing back to back tours. Okay. And I didn't want to seem rude by saying, "Well, I've been doing back to back tours all fucking day. So this is what you have to do. And if I wasn't your tour guide, you would have to do the same thing with the other tour guide. So can't really help you with that aspect." So anyway, he was a little bit mad about that. I mean, he wasn't really mad at me per se whenever I first talked to him, but by the end of the tour, I'll tell you what happened. Anyway, but before we get to that point, I did the boat tour. I made it a little bit longer than the first ones because he was, making a big stink about it in a way. And I couldn't really make it the full 10 to 15-minute boat tour because of the full group that I had. And I had another tour after this one. I had two more walking and boat tours after this one. It was 2:30 in the afternoon whenever I started this one. I had to get the 3:30 done by 3:30 or start the 3:30 by 3:30. So, I made it just maybe a couple minutes more. And I guess at the end of the tour, because I had to take the 3:30, my coworker Aubrey came down, brought them down to me. I started the 3:30. She went up with the 2:30. So apparently, this is what she told me whenever I came back up on the from the 4:30 at the end of the day. So apparently, whenever they came back up, they wanted a full refund. They gave or my boss, well, Aubrey called my boss and told him what was going on, and basically they got a 50% refund, which they weren't really happy about because they wanted a full refund, and which is kind of ridiculous to me because you did the tour. I'm sorry that it's, rushed to you. I can't do anything about it. I can't do two 10 to 15-minute boat rides whenever I have to get up there in about like just under an hour. Okay, I can't. If I didn't have back-to-back tours that day, I definitely would have. However, I did not. Okay, I did not have time to do that. So, the gist is they went up to the store. They were going to browse, I guess, or at least the mother in law did. And what happened was with her, after her son or son in law or whatever, and his wife left because they were not happy about getting the 50% refund, um, she was looking at the calcite that we have in the display case, right? It's like 14 or $15 for a little thing about that big, which is kind of ridiculous, I will admit. However, I'm not in charge of the prices. We're not in charge of the prices. My boss is, okay? He's the owner. He can choose what the prices are. But what happened was she was looking at the calcite and wanted to buy some. I guess she wanted to know the price, and my coworker Aubrey told her, "Oh, it's 14.95, so it's about 15 something with tax." And she's like, "Well, that's ridiculous. This is poor quality calcite anyway. You guys should be ashamed of yourself." So, yeah, she stormed out, and whenever I came back up from the 3:30 because I had a little bit of time, um to talk to her about that, I guess she had called my boss again and tried to explain the whole situation, and basically he wanted to know what I did and know what Levi's been doing. So both of us had been doing the same exact thing all day long, splitting the boats, doing the tours to stay on time, right? And because we had so big groups, we had like 20 people or sometimes more, 21, 22 people on almost every single tour. It slowed down a little bit at the end of the day, but anyway, I digress. We had to do split boat tours every single tour, pretty much. Okay. Anyway, yeah, that was just a situation where I was just kind of mad about it, but I didn't want to seem like an asshole. And then by the time I got all done with the 4:30, I came back up. I was talking to Aubrey about it, and I was telling her, like, I didn't want to seem like an asshole and yell at them or make a scene, um, because I don't want to get in trouble, right, for saying that stuff to a customer. And good thing is, my boss wasn't mad about the whole situation, as far as I know, because I never got to talk to him. I do have another story where he was mad about it, but I can tell you that another day. If you guys want me to, I don't care. I would have to remember a few details, but other than that, because it's been at least a year since that happened. Um, but yeah, that's my Karen and Ken story. um, but if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments, and I will hopefully see you guys very, very soon with another video. Bye.